he ever apologize for eating your apple pie?
Yeah, I think he did.
He did. Okay. So he felt bad about it. But...
Yep. That was funny, though.
Why is that that's a good one? That's savage walking into the St. Cloud locker room in 2018.
Hoagie's a loyal guy. Trust me.
That is the most savage thing I've ever done. Scott, last week in the regular season, that was a good series in Miami. You guys feel pretty good about where this team's at.
Well, it was much needed. Obviously, we've been in a lot of tight games that we haven't won. I liked our Saturday game. I mean, I like Friday, but I like Saturday. It just felt a little bit different, even though we started with having to kill 3 power plays. But the Killers did a great job all weekend. Obviously, our power play was good. I thought Dolly was good, but not an easy building. It was very physical. It was a hard-fought series, and our guys stuck with it and got 2 big wins that eventually was good. It solidified one of our goals was to be, to get home ice in the playoffs.
Dolly, seems like he gave you the problem to have, two good goaltenders. I thought he was really good in that series.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. He played there, right? And you never know what emotions and things guys are thinking of going back, to where they had played. And I know it was only a year, but I think he was excited about the opportunity to play. Obviously, he has had some good games for us. I thought that was certainly his best weekend. Thought he looked calm and, did a great job. And again, I mean, how can you argue? I said before when he was 2-0, he's winning games for us. He's been pretty consistent. So it is a good problem. We got 3 goalies, but obviously with Dolly doing what he does, it's a good thing coming down the stretch here.
When did Adam get back with you guys?
He got that last night.
Last night?
Yeah.
How's he doing after that Olympic experience?
I just talked to him briefly before practice. Obviously I think they felt like their team did really well and probably exceeded a lot of expectations, but, still probably disappointing that you didn't, in that position, get a medal. But I'll talk to him more in the next couple of days, just see how it was. But it was right before practice, so we just chatted a little bit. Yeah, he's questionable. Probably not. Yeah. But I don't want that out there right now, please. I'll leave it at questionable. No, he's not hurt.
What did you think of that weekend he had?
Well, it's great. That's why it sucks if he can't play, because he's been one of our hottest guys as far as scoring and obviously a threat on the power play, and I think starting to find his game a little bit too. So stuff to somebody else gets an opportunity.
Your thoughts on college going back last time?
Should have won 2 games, but again, it's going to be like every weekend, right? Hard fought. I mean, they're a team. They don't give you a lot through the neutral. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge. They're good in the offensive zone. They generate a lot of opportunities. Certainly, Mberko can be, he's proven he's a great goaltender. So again, it's like rinse and repeat, right? And it seems like every team we play, we talk about the same things, and it's true because everybody's good in our league, and obviously they're playing to, move up in the standings and finish the year strong with some confidence, and we need these games too, right? Hopefully stay on a little bit of a try and get on a little bit of a run, but more importantly, going into the playoffs, you want to be feeling good about your game.
Obviously, really tough news with and it felt like your guys handled business really well last weekend. You never know how young people are going to handle grief. Did you have a talk with the group? Did you let them lead yourself?
Yeah, we talked earlier in the week, but again, it was, you don't want to everyone grieves differently and everyone deals with it differently, but I think, especially for the guys that really knew Hoagie and what he meant, and even our new guys, they got to experience the first half with him. I think, I think they just kind of used it as a good rallying point. But I think I don't think a lot was said. I can't speak for, Joey and the leadership group, what they were saying in the room. I know we just talked briefly as a group. Just, our best way to honor him is try and go and win as many games as we can, right? And keep fighting and battling just like he did through, his last couple months. So that was really, hopefully, hopefully that was a good thing. It was a good weekend for all of UMD, right? So we need him to keep looking over us, not just one weekend, though. We're going to need a little more help.
No disrespect to the guys that came in this year, your senior transfers, but what's it going to be to honor Joey and Boz here this week?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, 2 Warriors, I can tell you that. I just think of both of them in the same mold, right? And, Boz has come a long way. I still remember a couple of years ago when we were, we said, hey, we want you to do more of this and really focus on this. And, I think it's really helped his game. And he went to work on it. And I think you saw a little bit of that at the end of last year. And, this year, obviously tough. You got AD that can play. But, he's probably one of our best penalty killers. And he's been in that spot. But he's earned more ice time because I think he's gotten better, right? And obviously Joe is the ultimate warrior, right? And our captain, and just every game, you know what you're going to get from Joe, and guys have a ton of respect for him. And yeah, it's always hard to. At least we got a couple more games here, right? That was good. It's not like these are our last 2 home games for them, and they get a chance to play at least a couple more.
You're locked into first place here in the weekend. Obviously, you'll be home the following. You're basically locked to make the national tournament. What area maybe of your game is the biggest focus for you as you get ready to go down the stretch here this weekend?
Well, I don't know if there's one area. I mean, obviously, I hope our special teams keep excelling. Hopefully, you're going to need good goaltending. So we know we have 2 guys that can do the job there that have played. Obviously staying healthy, but I think you got to be comfortable in the games that we're going to be probably in, right? I think that's probably one thing we've been kind of harping on, right? There's not going to be a lot of high scoring games. You got to be comfortable in tight games, and I thought our guys last weekend, and I've seen more of it on the bench where there isn't like the emotions aren't so high, but the biggest thing is the mental toughness you need. You need to have mental toughness because not everything's going to go your way. Calls aren't going to go your way. Bounces aren't going to go your way. You're going to end up like we did Friday, where you're playing a good game, but you're down 2-0. How do you deal with it, right? And I think those are good situations. And the way we came out of that, hopefully, helps, right? But, I just think it's how you approach every game and understanding the game, and the game that you're in, right? Some games down the stretch here could be wide open. I don't know. Some are going to be fight for every inch, and so I don't think there's one area. I think defensively we've been a pretty good team all year. You've got to focus on them when you don't have the puck, and then offensively, I think we've done some things towards the last month or 2 that I think have helped us, but. There's one area we need to be better on faceoffs. Like, I don't think our faceoffs have been very good. Again, I feel like that's probably about the 6th year in a row I've said that. And we have good centermen, but possession's important, and those are all little things that become big things. Just look at the Olympics, right? Look at games. Faceoff wins, D-zone versus losses, right? So I don't know if I answered it, Bruce, but that's... No, I just think our guys I mean, that's the whole year. You go through different situations and you hope you learn, right? And sometimes you got to just understand what the game is, and that you got to have the feel for the game, and you got to play the game that way, and you can't try and change it or force it. And that's probably been a little bit of our nemesis this year, where we just don't want to maybe stay with simple, and we want it to be a little fancier than it needs to be. And those are going to get you in trouble, especially moving forward when you start playing, the good teams. Not that we're not, but just there's all good teams moving forward. So it's be a good test this weekend, because they're gonna make it difficult to navigate through the neutral zone, and we have to make good decisions. And so we just talked about it today, and you got to be comfortable with that.
Mentioned your two guys that have been here for 4 years, and Joey and Box. But how have you seen your three senior transfer forwards come in here? And we talk about how hard the CHC is, and it's no disrespect to other leagues, but this is a little different animal. How have you seen them adjust to life in the NCHC throughout the year?
Good. I mean, I think probably production-wise, Kobe's probably what we weren't expecting him to come in and be again, this is no disrespect to him, it's just kind of what he's been, and he was comfortable in his role and killing penalties and playing in that maybe bottom half of your lineup. And obviously he's got a lot of he's the one guy on our team that's played in the tournament, right? With Cornell, he's been in a good program. So, and obviously being named an assistant captain, he's got the leadership. So he's done his job. I think Gaff has done he's been our best face-off guy. His production would probably be something he would probably say, he wish it was higher, right? But I just look at that line and how important they've been and how many times we've talked about them, whether they're scoring or not, but on the flip side, Scouts, he's got 11, 12 goals, he's been the one guy that's scored, and I think they've done a really good job. I think, I said I give my staff a lot of credit because they're the ones that kind of found those guys and talked to a lot of people and kind of that fit us. And I think they've done a great job. Kobe kills penalties. The other two are on power play, play a regular shift. Kobe's played with a lot of different people this year, which is not easy to do, from a chemistry side of it. So, but overall, I think they've done a great job. I said probably production-wise, we'd like to see a little bit more, but I could say that about a few guys.
You mentioned Kyler being the only guy that's playing against him. For this, still a very young team that he's got around him. Kind of explore how important is it to have that guy with that experience, and secondly, no matter how far this goes, how he is getting this experience for these young guys.
Well, it's important. It'd be awesome if we can get to the tournament, right? It'd be awesome if we can win our playoff championship, right? But you just got to focus on what you need to do to win each game, right? We put a little pressure on our guys last week against Miami. These are important. You got to find out how, when you get in these games that, whether it's the end of your year or you're playing to stay alive, you got to find out if your teams can handle that stuff, right? And I'm not saying just because one weekend we can handle it, but it was a good step, right? Because it was, we hadn't won a lot of games before that, right? We've lost some games, and we were, felt like you're slipping a little bit. And, you go into a tough building and you get two hard-fought wins, hopefully it kind of galvanizes your team a little bit, and they know they can do it. I think deep down they all know they can do it, but you got to go do it. So, yeah, all those experiences, right? I mean, as a coach, I've been fortunate to be a part of a lot of those. But when you're not a player, you still got to experience it. We can talk about it, but so it's important that we finish the year strong this weekend. Hopefully, maybe solidify that opportunity to play more besides our playoffs, and those guys will get that experience. And I think anytime you get there, you have a chance. we've proven that before. So
That second line certainly produced some points against Miami. You talked about them doing the right things all year long.
Yeah.
How good was it to see those three different
Well,
this past week?
yeah, it was good. I mean, obviously that especially the second power play unit. Those guys were our best unit, right? But yeah, our top two lines are good. I think, but they've also played the most together. You know what I mean? So there's probably a lot more chemistry there. But we're gonna rely on those guys, and we need them to keep doing what they're doing. And then we're gonna need some other guys. Say it every year. You need some guys that surprise you or overachieve at this time of the year or going into the playoffs, and it doesn't have to always be your top players, right? There's always maybe one or two guys. It could be a defenseman. It could be another forward or two. Could be a goaltender that steps up and stands on his head for 7-8 games, right? We'll find out. We'll find out.
We talked about this before this year too, but the penalty kill, that unit, and the struggles the past 2 or 3 years. What's gone into that turnaround to them being now this year's?
Well, we talked about being more aggressive. I think you see that. I think we have guys. We got a good buy-in. Like it's hard to start aggressive, not aggressive and become aggressive. It's easier to start aggressive and become less aggressive as the year goes on. But we've kind of stayed with it. The guys have enjoyed it. We've gotten good goaltending usually through that. But we got some guys that smart. You got Zam, Max, they're good sticks. Covey's done it a lot. Danny's kind of rounded into that, and then you got Gaff and Cal, and we got other guys too that we can use. But and then it's being a little bit connected and but aggressive is not easy. There's some really good power plays in this league, and we've been exposed. You need a little luck when you're playing aggressive, but. We've kind of stuck with it. I think we've practiced it differently during the year. Or in years past, we haven't run 3 power play units, and we did that to start because we have some guys that we feel not only could be on the power play, but it also helps all of our guys kill, right? So when we practice it, our top guys are getting penalty kill time. Everybody's practicing the penalty kill. Not everyone's on the power play, but everyone is practicing the penalty kill. And when we went away from it for a little bit, just because not every team kills the way we do, so sometimes you're trying to emulate a opponent's PK. And when we went away with it and only did 2 power plays, we felt like we lost some of that detail. So we went back to it. And last weekend was a good example of maybe it worked. I don't know, but I think I think some part of that is that, guys feeling comfortable in practicing it. It's probably made our power plays better too because they're always going under pressure. Probably frustrates them at times too. But overall, I just, think we just made a decision and we've had discussions. Should we change? Should we not? And we're like, no, we'll just keep going and hopefully it works out. You didn't want to face that.
Tyler won that one. I went back and watched it.
I was like, I wasn't that tuned in, but I want to know what happened.
I saw it on the sheet. I'm like, there's no way that happened. So I'm gonna go look. It was 38.
But I think you should give him credit for it.
It's on the stat sheet. It's in the books.
I would give him credit for it. Don't give him credit for it then.
I made the mistake of saying something you got fixed.
Yeah. So.
That's my fault.
All right.
Kyle, what was it like going through senior day a second time?
Just exciting as the first time, I think. Obviously, it's nice to have gone through it once and experience it, but I'm more looking forward to it for the other guys that are experiencing it for the first time, while the other seniors. It's an exciting time, but sad time. But I think it's just a time to cherish all the memories you had. So I'm looking forward to it.
Kyle, I'm curious your perspective, because you start your college career, and as a freshman, you see senior nights, sophomore, junior, and stuff. But you started your career somewhere else, so you're watching these senior nights at other schools. And then when it comes time, you're doing it at a different school at UMD. Kind of what's your thoughts going into the senior night and looking back on your career?
Yeah, it's a little weird situation, but no, I think just making the transfer over here, that's been a great year, great time here, and 3 years in Alaska is a great time there. You miss it sometimes, and they did a great job with their senior nights. But I hear the same thing here as well, so definitely looking forward to this one. And it's bittersweet, kind of like Kyler was saying, but just kind of cherish some memories you had, and yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
No big giant inflatable polar bear.
No, that's a little different.
Not a big giant inflatable bulldog. I always love that polar bear. Scout, you want to jump in here? Scott, I was asking Kyle, you start your career at Lowell, at a different school. You watch these senior nights every year as you're going through your career, and you think, okay, that'll be someday. But then it ends up being a senior night at a different school. What kind of goes through your head as you go through it here as a Bulldog?
Back to what he said, it's kind of bittersweet. Your college career is coming to an end in a sense, but I think we got a great group of guys, so I don't think that really changes anything. It'll be a fun little moment, and kind of more excited for the game, I guess.
Lowell didn't have big inflatables that I remember.
No, not that. I don't think so. Just kind of a couple flowers, bring out to your parents or such. But kind of eyes are more focused on the prize and winning the games.
And why not? I don't think it could handle. I feel like the entire power would go out.
There's not enough room in the building for any inflatable. No, the ceiling would collapse, I think.
Guys, what has this season been like for the three of you coming here, transferring to the Bulldogs and putting them in a really good position here as the postseason nears?
It's been fun to come in with a good group. I feel like we've gelled really well, winning some games, and it's just fun to be a part of, to be contributing to, and obviously we're not done yet, and we just want to keep going.
Yeah, it's been really special. Obviously, we had a big new class coming in here, so there's a lot of variables and everything going into it, but it's been an absolute blast. I couldn't have asked for anything better, and we put ourselves in a good spot going into the playoffs here, which makes it just as exciting. But no, I got nothing but great things to say. It's been awesome so far.
Yeah, same here. It's just been an awesome year. Just everyone's been just made it so easy, just making the transfer, and just rooming with these guys, with Riley and Adam. It's been fun. So yeah, just looking forward to what's next.
Kyle and Scout, your power play unit was on at Miami. What's been working for you guys?
Yeah, I think just simplifying, getting shots, pucks to the net, being around that net, and Ando was a beast kind of for us this last weekend, so nice to see him getting rewarded too in that net front area, but just keeping it simple and trying to contribute as best we can.
Yeah, I think moving pucks fast, like he said, keeping it simple, and then it just seemed like we were on the same page. And then Ando again, he's a dog, so hopefully he's feeling better and he'll be back.
Scout, I watched back Friday's game because I wanted to see how far the net was off on your goal. And so I watched the play, and then I watched you skate over to the glass and just stare down this lady in the stands like she owes you money. And I laughed. I said to some people, I thought it was enjoyable. And then I'm watching Saturdays you score, and then you skate over to the other side of the ice and you stare somebody down like they owe you money. Have you been doing this all year and I just didn't notice?
I wouldn't say all year. I think there was one maybe here at home against Western or something like that. It kind of started. And then, yeah, I just thought it was kind of a funny thing to do. A couple of my buddies were texting me about it. I think it's hilarious, so I just figured may as well keep it rolling. Kind of, yeah, just a funny thing to do.
You're going to have a chance, in all likelihood, to play on here for the first time in your career. What's that mean to you to maybe have a chance to close out your college career playing the NCAA tournament for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the big goal coming in was, I mean, obviously to win the championship, but for myself personally, I guess it was always in the back of my mind that I've never played in the tournament, so, and that's something that's kind of, there's some light at the end of the tunnel there. We got a good chance to secure a spot, so it's exciting. I know we can do it, and I'm looking forward to getting there.
Kyle, what's that mean for you to potentially have a chance to play in the NCAA tournament? Coming from Alaska, where it's you can have a great season, but it's still tough as an independent.
Yeah, I mean, my freshman year there, I think we finished 11th or 12th at the end of our season, and just kind of felt like it was stolen from us. So, yeah, it's definitely we put ourselves in a great spot, and we got 4th place in conference playoffs, but we're definitely just thinking about doing well in that, and then also putting us in the national tournament. So
yeah, I was going to say you don't get to play in conference playoffs or anything in
right,
Alaska.
yeah.
So for you, this postseason experience is completely new.
Yeah.
Going into it
Yeah,
this weekend.
I'm excited for it. It's been a long time since playing a playoff game. So I mean, we had the Governor's Cup there, so that was a little bit of playoff hockey. It felt like, but you know, you're playing for your conference here, so it'll be fun.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Can I get you two off?